Hello everyone, this is Aeroica, and thanks so much for stopping by for another video. Chapter 21, The Corrupted Caverns for the Challenge Mode campaign is definitely a short dungeon. However, if you are equally short on patience, you may find yourself filing an insurance claim for a recently destroyed device. This is one of the most frustrating and unpredictable dungeons that I've come across in my campaign journey, but rest assured, it can be done. This video will show you what I went through, what worked best, and what it takes to get this dungeon 3-starred and fading into a distant memory. For this fight, I brought the Furnace as a tank, Black Smoke as primary tank heals, Augustus as supplemental heals, and Kai Makani as debuff and DPS. All of my heroes are 6-starred and fully ascended, except for the Furnace, which is only a 4-star hero. None of these heroes have applied blessings. The Furnace is brought in for this fight primarily due to his resistance to status afflictions. There are enemies in the dungeon which have disease-based attacks, which can be an issue when traversing this dungeon. Additionally, his basic attack has the chance to set all the enemies on the platform on fire, and this will add to the DPS of the platform. Black Smoke is brought into this dungeon as the primary healer for the Furnace, and he is the only healer in the game currently able to do so. Even with this being a short dungeon, there is the potential for large volume damage to be inflicted upon the tank, and you will not survive without primary healing. Augustus is brought in as supplemental healing for the rest of the team, status affliction removal, and additional DPS. While Kai Makani, who was not in my original composition, proved to be very useful. What appeared to be single-target or at best multi-target attacks were considered to be AoE and thus were affected by his 80% damage mitigation ability. Additionally, his group buff also provided added DPS and damage mitigation for the rest of the team. For this fight, I brought 3 energy potions, with Black Smoke being the primary healer for the Furnace, and Augustus handling supplemental heals for the rest of the team. My primary concern was ensuring that a taunt could always be active, and that if emergency heals were necessary, they could be cast. This dungeon has a recommended level of 72, and if your heroes are lower than the current level cap of 70, you may encounter an increased level of difficulty in completing this dungeon. Despite this dungeon having only 2 platforms prior to getting to the boss, you may find that they carry a level of frustration equivalent to that of 5 platforms. What I discovered is that regardless of the composition you bring in, there is a high degree of possibility that one of your heroes could be 1-shot or 2-shot killed by the trash mobs, depending on the platform makeup. There's even the possibility that the enemies will decide they dislike one of your heroes, and thus it will become the target of their aggression. The trash mobs consist of 2 types, Lotus Chunin, which is a fast rogue nature enemy, and Noble Shadowfolk, which are normal speed dark rogues. While both of these enemies could easily compete for the first spot in a recommended kill order list, the Lotus rogues are considered the most dangerous because of their assassinate ability and their fast turn speed. Depending on how many of them are on a particular platform, they can easily take out one of your heroes, and even 2 represent a pretty big threat. If these are the dominating enemy on a platform, depending on your composition, all of your heroes may not be able to survive the first round. Since a 3-star victory is the primary objective, this would result in a retreat and a restart. While the Noble Rogues are of normal attack speed, they also have the ability to have a self-haste buff cast upon them, which provides them with what seems like an endless turn base. Additionally, one of their attacks, Volley of Maladies, is disease-based and can inflict your heroes if they are not immune. Thus, healing will become compromised and trying to recover can be difficult. Thankfully, however, the Volley is also considered an AoE and is subject to Kai's Surf Up ability, which provides an 80% reduction in damage to this type of attack. With Kai being a fast hero, you will have an opportunity to cast this ability prior to being pelted from across the platform. This should be done for each platform just as you arrive, and potions should be used to immediately ensure you're able to cast it. Once you reach the boss, there is still a high level of threat, but not as bad as the previous 2 platforms. Once there, you'll be greeted by 2 epic level noble rogues and 1 epic boss named the Black Hand Matriarch. The nobles have the same haste and disease attacks as their non-epic counterparts, while the Matriarch has a leech attack which not only deals damage and will heal her, but will remove a buff or taunt as well. During the boss fight, you should focus your DPS on the 2 epic nobles. Pick one and focus your DPS there, then move to the other. Make sure that when Kai's turn is available, you cast his Surf's Up ability. If it's on cooldown, use an energy potion to make it available. This will help reduce much of the damage from the nobles and keep the pressure off your healers so they can do a little DPS. Also use his Call of the Deep to boost DPS with revenge attacks and to add defense buffs to the team. Once the furnace is settled into tanking, use his combustion ability to reset the matriarch's abilities so she cannot perform her leech attack for a few rounds. This can help prevent her from dealing quite a bit of damage and from healing herself, which will extend the fight. Use his basic attack when no other priority ability is required, so that he can continuously try to set them on fire. If available, cast Augustus' Aegis Wall, but do not use a potion if it's not available. These should be safe for taunts and emergency heals. Once the nobles have been taken down, focus your DPS on the boss. Continue to use combustion to keep the matriarch's leech ability at bay, and if desired, use a friend's Yorick on the matriarch to get her down quickly. If all the stars are in alignment, you didn't step on a crack, there's no black cats in the area, and you didn't break a mirror, you should get this boss down and be on your way to a 3-star victory. As I stated earlier, this is one of the more unpredictable dungeons that I've been in. It's a place where tactics seem only partially effective, and even when you do things right, it's no guarantee of success. While I do hope you found some tactical advantages in watching this video, keep in mind that this is a really short dungeon, and if you happen to have more gems than patience, you can use your friend's heroes over and over again to clear the platforms until you reach the boss. Now you will still have to survive the first round of attacks from the enemies, but once you do so, the hero button will be available, and you can use those friend's heroes to continuously clear those platforms until you get to your objective. Depending on the heroes that are in your friends list and the level that they're at, it could cost between 150 to 200 gems, but it might save you quite a bit of frustration and quite a bit of time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found the video informative. If you did, make sure you give the subscribe button a click so you can be notified when my next video comes out. Let me know what worked for you in the comments section below. I'm interested if you experienced the same level of difficulty as I did. You can also follow me on Twitter for game updates, new hero releases, tactics, and other information. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you at the next video.